Hello everybody, welcome back. In today's video, we're doing your week ahead tarot reading for your sun sign, just to see the energy of the week. You can find all the sign timestamps in the description below, so just skip ahead to your sign and let's see how this week is gonna go. Alright, Aries, this is your weekly. Alright, so Aries, this is going to be your weekly reading for. So Aries, this is going to be your weekly reading. Again, if you do like these sorts of videos, make sure that you like and subscribe. So first of all, the energy from last week, this is the Hierophant card, which is all about traditions, trying to get things done in a different way. So it does look like maybe, last week things were not working out, so you went at things in a different way. So this is uh the energy from last week. The energy of this week, it does show that this cycle is going to continue, but you know this is all about time management and trying to adapt to a change, trying to balance decisions and priorities. So it does look like this week ahead you are going to be having to make more choices, more. You just have too much on your plate and you're trying to balance all these things, but this is just a reminder that to focus on the priorities and on your time management. There's also a lot of overcommitment here. The obstacles you are going to be facing. So you do have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands, this is lack of direction. There's a lot of procrastination going on and like temper tantrums. So like if things don't go your way, it's kind of like you kind of blow up on people or on yourself. But it all comes from having all of these extra responsibilities, from having all of these priorities that you're trying to balance, and it is carrying from last week. um like I said last week, you were trying to do things in a different way. You were kind of going against the system, but I think this week you are going to be learning that this system is there for a reason, right? So it does look like this might be backfiring on you, like this, you doing things a different way. It is going to cause you to, more stress, more procrastination. It does look like you want things to work. This is all about exploration and seeking freedom, but, it is, there's also like a lot of lack of direction here. So what this is going to be teaching you, so the lesson of the week, it's the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords, this is all about making difficult choices, weighing up the decisions, and so it does look like there is a lot of optimism here. It's also about structure. So the Two of Swords, we can see they're mostly black with a little bit of optimism in the middle, but they are on the polar opposite sides of each other. So you are trying to find the good in both of these decisions, but this is just telling you that you need to make difficult choices. Even choices that you don't want to make, but you need to make those choices. So Aries, this was your week ahead reading. Again, if you did like this video, make sure that you like and subscribe. Taurus, this is going to be your weekly reading. We're going to be looking at your week ahead. Again, if you do like these videos, make sure that you like and subscribe. So Taurus, what is going on for you this week? So Taurus, the energy from last week. So you do have the Six of Cups. This is all about living in the past, trying to move forward, kind of like leaving home and seeking forgiveness. It does look like you've been thinking of something, or like thinking of something from the past that you didn't do, and you're just stuck in that cycle of what if, like what if I did this, what if I had done that. um that's from last week. This week, however, you do have the Death card, which is, there's still this fear of a change. There's, again, I feel like you're still like trying to live in the past with the Six of Cups and the Death card. So the Death card, again, this is all about a fear of a change. It's also like resistance and stagnation. So you do want this end of a cycle, like you do want this transformation. However, there's like fear of change. There's fear of things not going your way. I just feel like you might be a person who doesn't like change a lot, or who is afraid of change because it's something different, and um you're so used to living in the past and things being familiar to you. The Six of Cups is also about leaving home, or seeking forgiveness. So the biggest obstacle here is these deep wounds that you still have. So it might be that you are currently down because of these past deep wounds. And the thing to know about the Ten of Swords is that yes, it is about painful endings and loss and crisis, but you need to understand that it took 10 swords um to bring you down. So there's a lot of resilience here. I think overall, like, things are only going to go upwards from here. There is uh this lesson about regeneration, and things are not going to get any worse than how they are now. The What this is going to be teaching you is the Judgment card, which is all about having a lack of self-awareness, having doubt, and you being your worst inner critic, right? So I think it does look like something from the past, or like you living in the past. It's stopping you from having this transformation, this end of a cycle. It almost looks like you don't want this cycle to end because you are afraid of change. However, it does come from all of these deep wounds that you have, these painful endings, this crisis. However, you are going to learn this week that you are your own worst inner critic, and you know there's this sudden awareness that you lack this self-awareness, right? There's a lot of like self-loathing and doubt. But Taurus, this was your weekly reading. Again, if you did like this video, make sure that you like and subscribe. So Gemini, this is going to be your reading for the week. So Gemini, so the energy from last week. So this is all about working too hard, or being too hard on yourself. There's a lot of doing a lot of repetitive tasks, so like doing things over and over and over again, which is going to lead to this lack of passion. So it might be that if you do have a job, it is that you are working too hard on your job. You're doing things, you have a lot of passion for the things that you do. And if you don't have a job, it might be that you're doing a lot of repetitive tasks. There's a lot of diligence here. There's a lot of, you want to do something. But yeah, it does look like maybe last week you were submitting a lot of like job applications, or just doing a lot of repetitive things, because you do have this passion for the work that you do. So this is from This is from last week. This week, you're going to be pretty impulsive. So with the Knight of Swords, so it does look like this week you're going to be taking a lot of actions, being pretty impulsive, and just defending your beliefs. There's like disregard for the consequences, and even I feel like it feels like there's like no direction. However, you are sure of yourself. It's like externally people don't see that you have direction, but like internally you know what you want, and it does look like you're going to be defending this week. Um, Again, taking a lot of actions and being pretty impulsive. So the obstacle that you're going to be facing is that you are too good at what you do. This is all about having an accomplishment or extra responsibilities or being a hard worker. If we tie this back to this job thing, I think that, or like you doing work, it does look like you are good at what you do. You have like maybe like a degree or like a skill that nobody else has, but it's like turning into a burden because it does look like all things are being thrown at you because you are the only person that can do them. Or it could also be that you have an accomplishment. So you did something, you accomplished something. However, you are defending this a lot. It's almost like if you have a degree but you can't find a job, you are constantly trying to defend you having a degree and all of these repetitive tasks that you are doing. So, this is the biggest obstacle of the week. It's just like having an accomplishment is being turned into this burden almost, which is causing like overstress, um, carrying a lot of the burden on your own and this like inability to delegate. So the lesson for the week is this Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is all about being restless and things burning out. So like it does point to stress, like a future stress. So it is like advising you to rest, to find time to contemplate on things and to withdraw from what is causing this potential stress. So Gemini, this was your weekly reading. Again, if you did like this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. So Cancer, this is going to be your weekly reading. So again, if you do like these sorts of videos, make sure that you do like and subscribe. So Cancer, that's last week, this week, the obstacle, and the lesson. So Cancer, this is what's going on. It does look like in the energy from last week, there is this Page of Cups, which is all about emotionally immaturity, disappointments, or like in this like inability to deal with emotions. Okay, so first of all, it does look like it's something romantic here. It does look like you were maybe let down by a person. Like this is all about how a person being emotionally immature and disappointing you. There's also like this like inability to deal with emotions. That's from last week. This week, you do have the Knight of Coins. So the Knight of Coins, feeling stuck. It kind of looks like this is, still transferring over. This like the disappointment is, bleeding into this week, which is going to cause you this um feelings of being stuck and neglecting life. Yeah, it kind of just looks like this whoever this person was kind of let you down and now you feel stuck. You feel like too much of a perfectionist. So something let you down. If it's not like a relationship thing, something let you down. Something disappointed you and it's still carrying on to this week, which is going to lead you into this feelings of being stuck. It does look like you have responsibility and that you'd like to be efficient. However, this let down kind of is causing you to be wanting things to be perfect and to neglect your own life. So the obstacle that you're going to be facing this week is this heartbreak, suffering, this sadness, this emotional pain. So there's emotional pain here for your obstacle. Like again, like I said, like whoever let you down is now making you feel stuck, and it's now leading into this obstacle of heartbreak and suffering, grief, and sadness. Like this very painful ending. The lesson for the week. So what this is going to be teaching you is the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, this is all about community, home, and celebrations. It's also about joy. So like you might be feeling like there is a lack of support. Um, so this might be feeling like you have a lot of like there's like a lack of support, but the lesson here is that there is joy in community, that there is joy at home, and there's a lot of things to be happy about and to celebrate. So Cancer, this was your weekly reading. Leo, this is going to be your weekly reading. So Leo, so the energy from last week, it is this Empress card. The Empress card, this is all about a dependency, being smothered. There's like emptiness going on, and or like there was emptiness and there was a burnt out that happened. It almost looks like this was your lowest point, feeling too tired maybe, or just like you were just not feeling it last week. This week, however, it does seem that you have changed your strategy. There's new tactics, there's strategy, there's a cunning victory coming here for this week. So the Seven of Swords, again, this is all about changing of strategy, changing of a new tactic, going at things in a different way. So it does look like you grew from this. It does look like you have changed your strategy, your tactics, the way that you do things. The obstacle for the week is going to be the King of Swords, all about being disciplined, having authority and the power. It does seem that this week you are going to be head over heart, thinking things logically, thinking things with your mind, being truthful about things. It's almost being too truthful. Does that make sense? Being living in reality too much, I guess. It's not a negative thing. I mean, the reason I say this is because these are all swords. So the spread is dominated by the swords, which is the intellect, the thoughts, ideas, strength, and our power. It does seem that with the king, this is all about being very disciplined with the truth and only seeing the truth, being in control of the truth. And for that reason, that's your biggest obstacle, is being too truthful, being too honest with reality, being too honest. Sometimes we do need to, dream a little bit. What this is going to be teaching you is the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is going to teach you about manipulation. It's going to teach you about having the talk and no actions. That's the biggest lesson for the week. All talk and no action. Being deceived, being manipulated into things. I think maybe that's why you are so honest, and maybe that's why you are very truthful, and you think with the mind and not with the heart. it does look like it's because of this manipulation that happened, or this lesson that's going to be learned, all about, having all talk, action. But Leo, this was your reading for the week. Again, if you did like this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. Virgo, this is going to be your weekly reading. This is going to be your weekly reading. Again, if you do like these sorts of videos, make sure that you do like and subscribe. So Virgo, let's see how this week is looking out for you. Okay, so Virgo, so the energy from last week, you do have the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is going after the things that you want. It's almost like being idealistic and following your heart. So it does look like last week that was your main energy. You were going after the things that you wanted. You were very disciplined. The energy for this week, you do have the Four of Coins. So this is all about being greedy. There's fear of a loss, being too possessive over the things that you have. Also be careful with overspending. This is all about overspending, not wanting to give. Not wanting to give because there's a fear of a loss. The obstacle that you are going to be facing this week is the Devil. So this is all about being a slave to your own desires, being too materialistic, becoming like a shadow of yourself, and like self-addiction. So all the things, it's a very toxic thing. It's like, it's bad for you, but you still keep doing it because you want it. Does that make sense? It's like you always want what you can't have, and you know that you can't have it, so you stay obsessing over it. The lesson for the week is this Five of Swords, which is all about unbridled ambitions and winning at all costs. The lesson here is why do you want to win? So just because you win doesn't mean that you're going to be happy. This is all about winning at all costs and kind of like doing things just because you want to win. I think that's the biggest lesson here. You don't always have to win. You can, even if you are right, you don't have to win. You can just ignore the not the problems, but just ignore the arguments, and sometimes not winning is the best thing to do. Again, if you do like these videos, make sure that you do like and subscribe. Libra, this is going to be your week ahead. Again, if you do like these videos, make sure that you do like and subscribe. For Libra. Okay, so Libra, there's a lot of self-reflection here. So the energy from last week is this Death card, which is all about there was fear of a change. There was a lot of resistance to change and stagnation. So not wanting to move forward, not wanting to let things go. This week, it kind of continues, but it manifests into something bigger. So this is all about feeling lonely, withdrawing from situations, seeking isolation, and it's almost like you are losing your way. The obstacle that you're facing is the Temperance card, which is finding meaning in things. So like you are going to be having a very hard time this week trying to find meaning in things and situations. staying calm or staying balanced, trying to find the middle path in things. It's kind of like you almost take things to the extreme, not finding or not having that middle path, or trying to find the meaning and trying to stay calm. That's the biggest obstacle. He was trying to stay calm. What this is going to be teaching you is the Seven of Cups. So the lesson here is this searching for the purpose. There's a lot of lack of purpose going on, and it's going to be teaching you about confusion and about being too overwhelmed by the choices. Again, the Seven of Cups, this is all about searching for purpose. And the Temperance card here, this is all about finding the middle path, finding meaning in things, finding the meaning and searching for the purpose. So yeah, I mean, the biggest obstacle is just trying to search, trying to have meaning, and the lesson is searching for the purpose, searching for opportunities, searching for the illusions, but mostly it's about finding the purpose. So Libra, this was your reading for the week. Again, if you did like this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. Scorpio, this is going to be your weekly reading. Scorpio, let's see what is going on. Again, if you do like this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. Scorpio, let's see what's going on. So the energy from last week, Scorpio, you do have this hopelessness. There's like a lot of despair and discouragement, kind of like faithlessness with the star in reverse. So that's from last week, the energy from last week, a lot of hopelessness. Energy for this week is the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands, this is all about an accomplishment. So you will be accomplishing a lot of things, a lot of having like extra responsibilities, working hard. There's like duties and like burden, almost kind of like having too much to do. So it does look like last week you were led down by, or like you were discouraged by something. Maybe you, I don't know, you were expecting something to happen and you were discouraged when it didn't happen. This week you are going to be pretty busy, so like a lot of burden, a lot of extra responsibilities, a lot of work that you still need to do. The obstacle is this Ace of Cups, which is this emotional loss, this emptiness and this blockage. That's the biggest obstacle for you this week. It also seems to be like a lot of broken communication, or like mostly like an emotional loss. To me, this is like a breakup or something that you wanted that didn't happen. There's now like a blockage there. So that's the biggest obstacle for the week. And then the lesson, what is this going to be teaching you? You do have the Eight of Swords. So this is, it's going to be teaching you to not be like the victim, to not be imprisoned by your own thoughts, and to let go of the negative thoughts, not knowing how to deal with reality. And I mean, this is the lesson for you this week. But this was your reading. Again, if you did like this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. Sagittarius, this is going to be your reading for the week. Again, if you do like this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. So Sagittarius, let's see what's going on for you this week. So for the energy for last week, you do have the Knight of Coins, which is all about trying to be a perfectionist, being stuck, and neglecting life. Definitely trying to be a perfectionist last week. You were trying to get things perfect. This week, you do have the Queen of Wands, which is, you know, having determination, being sincere, being a social butterfly, kind of having the courage to do things. I mean, so the Wands, this is all about creativity and action and having the willpower. It's also about desire. There's a lot of desire here, and it does look like this week you'll finally have the courage to act on your desires, on your creativity, to do things, to be sincere about what it is you want, and to just have the determination to do what you want. The obstacle for the week is the King of Coins. So the King of Coins as an obstacle, this is being greedy, being obsessed with material loss, and being obsessed with wealth. The lesson that you're going to be learning is all about hope, having faith, being generous, especially with the King of Coins. So the lesson for the week is just going to be about being generous, being sincere, having hope and faith. So Sagittarius, this was your reading for the week. Again, if you did like this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. Capricorn, this is going to be your reading for the week. Again, if you do like this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. So Capricorn, let's see. What is going on with Capricorn? So Capricorn, for the energy from last week, you do have the Six of Wands, which is all about a victory, success, or like you're coming into this week with a success. This is like a public reward or like a being recognized for something. It's just like a victory coming into this week, into this new week with a victory. The energy for this week, you do have the Queen of Coins, which is, yeah, being self-centered. Yeah, it does look like you are still living in this success, and it is carrying into this week. This week, you know, you're just being a little bit self-centered. Just be careful with being a little bit jealous or being too selfish. But definitely being selfish this week. It doesn't look like it's a negative thing though. Like it does look like, you know, you're choosing yourself. You came into this week with a success, so you're going to be enjoying your success. The obstacle for the week is all about having direction, having ambition, and success. So just because you won once doesn't mean you can't win again. So like there is this feeling of, if you're like, it's kind of like a feeling of, if you won once, that doesn't mean that you don't need to work anymore. Like no, like that means that you need to do better than how you were doing before. Does that make sense to you? The lesson that you're going to be learning is this Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is all about resilience. It's all about like making a last stand and like having courage. I mean, yeah, the lesson is just all about resilience here, just because, you know, you are coming into this week with a success. You're kind of like enjoying this, but like the obstacle is that you are getting too comfortable in the success, which is leading you into not wanting like ambition. Like you are not being ambitious, you lack drive. The lesson here is just about resilience, about you taking a last stand and having courage. So Capricorn, this was your reading for the week. If you did enjoy this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. Aquarius, this is going to be your reading for the week. Again, if you do like these videos, make sure that you do like and subscribe. So Aquarius, let's see what's going on for you this week. So Aquarius, so the energy from last week is this Four of Wands. So I mean, there you are coming into this week with feelings of not having support. There's a lot of conflicts at home also, but it's mostly like this lack of support that you feel from maybe your family or your community. There's no support there, which is, I mean, the energy for this week is all about the Ten of Cups in reverse, which is all about broken dreams, a broken family, kind of like struggling relationships. That's the energy for the week. So it does look like you want this emotional fulfillment, this true happiness, but right now it's like stuck in broken dreams and like struggling community dynamics, like a broken family, or just conflicts at home, or like even a struggling relationship. So the obstacle that you're facing this week is the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands, again, this is all about you defending your beliefs, you trying to maintain the control. I see you like kind of like defending yourself a lot, or like defending your family a lot, or just defending, yeah, just overall like defending something. Like you are trying to maintain the control. Um, but that's just the biggest obstacle for the week. Just you trying to defend yourself, trying to maintain the control. And then what the lesson for the week? This is just about going after what you want. This is about you following your heart, being like idealistic and completely moving forward with what you want. It does seem maybe it's like maybe okay, so like one scenario would be like your family doesn't support what you want to do, which is leads to a broken family and like you always needing to defend why you want to do this. And like the lesson is just that you need to follow your heart and do what you love. But Aquarius, this is your reading for the day. I mean, this is your reading for the week. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you do like and subscribe. Pisces, this is going to be your reading for the week. Again, if you do like these videos, make sure that you do like and subscribe. So Pisces, let's see what's going on. So Pisces, energy from last week, you do have the Page of Cups. So this is all about you facing this emotional immaturity, facing this disappointment, and yeah, like just facing this inability to deal with emotions. So you are coming into this week with feeling disappointed. This week is all about work. It's all about you being diligent, you mastering a task, you doing like this is all about repetitive tasks. But yeah, it does look like you're going to be pretty like just busy this week. Which I guess it's like there's like a downside to this, like you're gonna be so busy that you're not going to be able to process this loss that you just had. Um which is like the inability for you to deal with emotions. The obstacle for the week is going to be the Chariot. So the Chariot, yeah, like there's a lot of oppositions. There's a lot of lack of self-discipline and a lack of direction, a lot of aggression going on this week. That's your biggest obstacle. Just you not finding direction, or you're not having the direction, lacking self-discipline. The lesson for the week is the Ace of Cups, which is all about a new feeling, new relationships, new love, new connections, new feelings of creativity. That's your lesson. I mean, I think overall, the lesson is finding new people. So this disappointment that happens last week, it's almost like you I feel like you don't actually care about what you lost, because it looks like you ignore, like, yeah, like you just ignore it, almost like you just don't really pay attention to what you lost, um which leads to this like lack of direction, lack of um self-discipline. It's almost like you don't let yourself process things, and what this is going to be teaching you is all about new connections, new feelings. Yeah, there's definitely a new feeling that you're going to have to process this week. Let's do one more for clarification. The inner strength, which is, yeah, I mean, there's like self doubt, there's weakness, there's insecurities, and there's also like a lot of low energy coming from like this lesson. I feel like you lack bravery, you lack the focus and the inner strength, which leads to having like self doubt and weakness. But I mean, the lesson here is just, this new feeling. There's new feelings coming up. There's new relationships. There's new love coming in, and just because something ended, just because something disappointed you, doesn't mean that it's the end. And there's like no reason for you to not have direction, because the lesson here is that when something ends, something else starts again, like something else begins. But the lesson is all about having new feelings, right? Like there's always going to be new feelings happening. We just need to be brave and to let go of this self doubt and this insecurity. But Pisces, this was your reading for the week. If you did enjoy this video, make sure that you do like and subscribe. So this does conclude our video for the day. Again, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you do like and subscribe. And bye, everybody.